astonishing to me that we have folks in the Democratic Party and on the left who say, well, rural and poor white people are voting against their self-interest by voting Republican, right? And in the same breath, we're telling our young people, vote blue no matter who. And we've not seen student debt relief when people are strapped with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt with no way out, who the dream of home ownership is not attainable to them, who are delaying starting families and having children and things. We're still waiting for single payer healthcare. So like voting blue has not gotten us any improvements in our material conditions. And even when the Democrats have had overwhelming majorities in the federal and state legislatures, we're still seeing them drag their feet on a lot of the issues of the time. So like, yes, I do believe that we're going to see more people leaning into third parties and really just saying no to the status quo. And that's what the Democratic Party, as it stands today, represents to a lot of folks in my generation and even younger.
Yeah, I agree. They're not going to be able to bully us this time. I think, especially now post-Trump, and I'm not saying that was a holiday, okay? Like, I'm not saying that was good. I didn't choose that. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted Bernie, but, we saw how that went. So, for me, it's like, yeah, so we saw that Trump sucked. But I just saw Joe Biden appoint Elliott Abrams to something diplomacy. So how am I to be scared? How is it to be scary to me? Oh my God, we could have Trump again, when the Democrat is literally putting in the same people that are the cause of the scary. So it's really like, it's a very hollow threat to me to even be scared of Trump when Joe Biden is doing things literally that Trump did.
And there's no safety for us, right? Like, we have watched the overturning of Roe. We've watched the gutting of affirmative action, and the attacks on civil rights and women's rights are going to continue. So like you said, what incentive is there for us to, it's like we're choosing whether we're going to be stabbed with a sharp knife or a dull one. So, I do hope that we'll see more inspirational leadership come up. And it's sad to me that people are more concerned about their political careers rather than doing what's right and delivering for working class Americans.
Yeah, which is why, I'll never be quiet about that. As of now, obviously, I can't foresee anything changing. Who knows who gets into this, but assuming Cornel West is in fact the Green Party nominee, I can't fathom a universe wherein that's not who I'm supporting, because, it's really not even, it's so blatant now. Right? This isn't like maybe, where you would have said 30 years ago, where they weren't that different, except for maybe on some one green thing or some real one. It is so different. It's, you have the Democrats and Republicans that are very, very similar with a couple of little exceptions. And then you have Dr. West, who is completely different from, like, it's not even in the same ballpark.
Right. I think it's very unfortunate that we are seeing sort of the Democratic establishment come out and really just crush any sort of challenge from the left or from even the moderate wing of the Democratic Party, right? Like, democracy demands that we should have debates and discourse around the issues of our time. And the fact that we're not even being allowed that as voters, we're not given the choice, right? We're being force-fed what we're being offered, I think is very unfair and anti-democratic.
Yeah.
Clearly they are concerned about what he could potentially do, especially if he puts his focus, which I think would be smart, in a lot of the swing states, because that is going to force the hand of both major political parties in terms of, trying to clamor for those vote shares, because I think he is very inspirational. And, as much as we probably thought that Nina would have made a fantastic candidate, although she almost assuredly would have run in the Democratic primaries. Dr. West is taking a huge chance here to try to change the electoral infrastructure of this country in a way that really hasn't been seen before. And the fact that you had Miss Neoliberal personified Joan Walsh write that insane article a month ago saying that Dr. West has no business running for president. Now you have former President Obama's right-hand man, David Axelrod, coming out and saying that Dr. West will almost assuredly swing the election to Trump. So they're already putting those guardrails in place to basically tell you, don't even look at this other candidate who is not going to be on the ballot for another year and a half. To me, that screams that they are petrified of what this man represents if he gets any amount of momentum behind him.
I have to agree. And I mean, in a country where we tell our children you can be anything you want to be, even president of the United States, right? Now it's like, oh, well, you can be anything you want to be, even president of the United States, unless it is our preferred candidate's first term and we want to have him in there for 4 more years. The entire thing is just very discouraging. But, I do hope that we are able to really galvanize around Brother West and anyone else who would like to be considered, right, and really press the issues and make sure that, there's equal coverage and fair coverage and that we're able to have productive discourse around the issues that we want to tackle. I think that party loyalty has gotten us into some very difficult positions. And that we have to look outside of what our party affiliations are and really focus on what the issues are, which it remains, the People's Platform, universal health care, free college, the things that we know that are really going to get this country and this economy back on track.
There is no question that based on what has been the MO does not change, as Business Insider indicates, as Axelrod says in 2016, the Green Party played an outsized role in tipping the election to Donald Trump, as if those votes were, as if Hillary Clinton deserved those votes or had a right to them, own them for whatever reason, pointing to Jill Stein's candidacy in the context featuring Trump and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Now with Cornel West as their likely nominee, they could easily do it again. Risky business. The fact that they're putting out, the sounding the alarms as of this particular time, when it came to Jill Stein, those alarms didn't come until the very end of the 2016 election. 2020 obviously was a completely different animal because of the way that COVID had just completely changed everyone's lives. And we saw that President Trump was clearly not up to the task of dealing with such an existential crisis. So it wasn't so much Joe winning, it was Trump losing. And so now we're in more normal circumstances, but they are not even attempting to play this any other way other than, we know Joe sucks really, really bad, but we still need your vote and we're not going to do anything to earn it. That to me is the biggest issue here, is that he is the president of the United States. He has executive authority at his disposal at any moment and could change the lives of millions of people, millions of voters in this country like that. Whether it is student loan debt, whether it is healthcare, whether it is cannabis, decriminalization of the drug, and also expungement of nonviolent drug offenders, I can go on and on and on. And the BS about the parliamentarian or what the Supreme Court says you can and can't do with student loan debt, we know that there are laws in place that allow the chief executive to overrule those sentiments. So as far as I'm concerned, the onus is on them. It's not on us.
I agree. You're spot on. And I would also just add that, no Green Party candidate is peeling off a bunch of votes from, devout Democrats are going to vote Democrat no matter what, right? Like the people who are going to vote for the Green Party candidate are the people who are fed up with the status quo, who are tired of being lied to, who are tired of broken promises and being told that actions are going to occur if you just give us another chance, right? And then we're being slapped in the face. And, I, for one, am tired of being pissed on and told it's raining. And I think that, there needs to be some accountability, and they should be afraid because people are tired.
Yeah, I think something that was really smart that was said on our friend Keaton and Russell Do Dissident show was, when everybody is talking this spoiler problem, okay, the spoiler problem. First of all, that's been created because of your lack of any offering. It's not like if there couldn't be a spoiler, there wouldn't be able to be a spoiler. Like that's on you. But that aside, our goal, at least I can speak for myself, and it seems like that's what the point of what they were saying on their show, isn't just, our goal isn't to screw Joe or elect Trump, nor are we delusional in thinking that somebody like Dr. West is necessarily capable of winning the national race. However, is it reasonable to say that our goal is to make sure that the Green Party gets the 5% and simultaneously starts making momentum for down ballots and other issues that are going to spur off of that campaign? That's our goal. The fact that it could screw them, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that the fear of Trump is no longer going to be sufficient. And I agree with you, India, like at least in my case, whether or not Dr. West was running, I'm still not supporting Joe. I'll go back to the railroad workers. I can add the Willow Project, the Mountain Valley Pipeline. I mean, look, it's ridiculous at this point. It's almost like he's purposefully giving me really good talking points of reasons not to vote for him. So it really would be irrelevant as to whether there was a good Green candidate. He's still, like, Joe wouldn't get my vote anyway.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.